are you? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. It depends from where you're watching this live stream from. Here at Karaoke Moment. Today is a day that we are glad to be live streaming to you, and we'll be looking at the acceptance of the endorsement of the Vice President of the U.S., Kamala Harris. And this is after following the President Joe Biden endorsement to her 2 days ago. And this is a story that is going on, and we decided to come at this hour just to look at it and to go through it, and because it's a very interesting story, just to watch this lady, how it has been, President Joe Biden, how they started, and just getting to make a team when he became the president of the US 3 years and 6 months ago or so, and just being able to become a team. So, uh, 2 days ago, Joe Biden was released released a letter through the X social media account, and definitely he said that he's quitting the race to the president's race in November, come elections in the US. And he said he was quitting for the best interest of the party and best interest of the country. And that is why he chose to just quit the race. But he's still going to be the president of the US and continue with it until handover time, most probably next year, February, thereabout. So Joe Biden had a presidential debate, I remember, like a month ago, 3 weeks to a month ago, with the other hopeful president, the former president, who wants to also run for the presidency again, Donald Trump. They had a presidential debate and was heated. They showcased their points, what they would like to do with the US as a country. And there were comments that Joe Biden didn't do very well, didn't seem very prepared. And there was hush tones, including from his party, Democratic Party. The Democrats were talking about it and starting to feel like maybe it was a time for him to relinquish his desire to want to be president for the second time come November. And it seems it could be he's listened to that, and now he's quit and endorsed his vice president, who is a female, Kamala Harris, to take over. So today, being on the second day, Kamala Harris has gone to the public and accepted the offer and kicked off her like kind of campaign mode with talks of what she's planning to do, and what she's planning to do for the US, her desires. She pitched well, she talked well with the people, and if the news are going on well, and even the campaign, the poll statistics now, they've done a poll to show the voters how they feel about it. And we can see a close one today, whereby she is at 46% of the voters are inclined to her, and for Donald Trump are 47. We are seeing also the discussions going on that the fundraising for the campaign has started, and in June, when it was, I think, launched, in June, uh, when President Joe Biden launched it, it was at $127, I think, $1 million. And within just 2 days, the monies have increased to around 100 million now, dollars. So if you look at that, there's that increase of the figures, and they're saying that that's a very great increase when you look at that short duration. So I think this is going to be one of the very energetic kind of election. If we look at it, just being 2 days, we can already see this. So I know that people are also waiting now to see how the Republicans, the Donald Trump aside, are also preparing for that. And one amazing and interesting thing is the US politics, they sprinkle into the entire world. I think that's why they are called superpower, like when they get a sneeze, it's like the whole world also gets part of that sneeze. What I mean is the interest is because of the superpowerness in it, the rulership in it, the way it's opened up. And you can see now, even after Kamala Harris was suggested to be the endorsed one, there's also an interest to know how this lady, Kamala Harris, I just decided, oh, okay, this lady, she seemed very quiet, but today, even after watching her, you can see the power in her, the oomph in her, the coming out very strong. She's known to have a background of the dad being a Jamaican and who is also a professor of economics, and the mother is from the Asian descent. She's from India in Tamil Nadu state, the southern part of India. By the way, that's a beautiful place for people who have not visited India. I think that's a very nice place. I had a chance to visit Tamil Nadu in Madras area. It's a very beautiful place, very beautiful people. Anyway, the mother is from Tamil Nadu, also a scientist as well. So, and also it is said has a daughter. She has, has a sister. Kamala Harris has a sister as well. They were brought up by their family, and later, as they were growing, the father and mother separated, so ended up growing. Like she's this lady who has she has a spirit of when you read her story, she has made her ways and made her ways, her studies, even all the way to become a lawyer, became an attorney general of California, continued at getting into becoming the senator as well. Until now, the time when she was becoming she was nominated to be the vice president of US by Joe Biden. So that happened, and they've been working together for the last years. And for Joe Biden, we are still waiting. He even said today that he's going now because he's coming out of isolation. As we know, he was ailing from, he was having a COVID-19 infection, so he was isolating. Maybe probably that is why even the news for endorsing Kamala Harris came through the social media. But like today, when even she was accepting that endorsement, he was online, and he has said when he comes out, he's going to be talking about it and now face to face to people. I want to believe people are really waiting to hear him now coming out and talking after his isolation with COVID-19 is coming out. So this lady, Kamala Harris, also now her story is she got married quite mature. She got married at 49, 50 to the husband is a Jewish descent as well. He's also a lawyer by profession, and he deals with entertainment, a lawyer for entertainment. He's a dad of two, a son and a daughter. So Kamala Harris definitely became a stepmom to the two, and she said they have very good relationship even during her initial campaigns when she was nominated to be the vice president. So she talks about it as well. So she got married there about around 50. And for the last 10 years or so, they have been together with the husband, Douglas. So they've been together. Now, when I look at this, why this story, uh, disclaimer, I'm not even a voter in the US. It's just out of interest. And especially, Karaoke is a channel where we discuss life conversations and things that happen in life to encourage us to bring conversations, especially positive vibes, positive conversations that encourage us and stir us up and give us hope, help us to keep up the faith, be encouraged as we continue in this life. Because a tagline of Karaoke moment is life is a journey, walk in it. And hey, have you subscribed to Karaoke Moments? We want to welcome you to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Karaoke Moments. This is where we have our life conversations, and we have a tagline, as I've said, life is a journey, walk in it. We welcome you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, follow us, share, make your comments. Let's grow as a family to keep on learning from each other. And if you're one of our subscribers, we want to thank you for finding a moment to even watch our videos and other social media handles. We thank you for that and keep on sharing our content. Yeah. So this lady, Kamala Harris, has come on, has talked about what she wants to pitch. She wants to talk about the bringing the middle class into an affordable place, and she's believing that when she does this, the America will be propelled up as a country. She's talking about the security, the uh, registration of firearms and such, maybe to be made better because of all the shootouts and insecurity. She's also talking about empowerment of women and women to own their own health, and that they can decide about their health, including what they want to do with their bodies, including decisions to be made about abortions. They've also talked about being able to come out and encourage people, to the downtrodden, to be assisted to come up, including people when they get into retirement to have a better life, trying to ensure that people can afford even to own a house. There's so many things that she's talking about, and I know this is quite early. We also know Trump also has also his own ways of coming up, because there before he's been talking about making US great again. So these two people, I feel like we are really going to watch a very interesting times, whereby we will be watching the two, because so far, I'm not saying these are the final ones. By November, maybe we might be able to get more. But these two people so far who have uh, said and mentioned their interest of wanting to be the president of the United States of America, that is the former president Donald Trump, because he's been there, he was there before Joe Biden, and also now Kamala Harris, who was the deputy, or rather vice president to Joe Biden. So she's also saying that so far they're the two. So I feel like it's interesting times. They're really going to come up and showcase themselves. And disclaimer, I'm not even voting for Republican or Democrats. It's just out of interest and watching and seeing, and also learning lessons. Because one of the lessons that I've liked in this campaign, I feel like given an opportunity, maybe it looks even enjoyable to be a politician. I like the kind of organized, kind of, in quotes, clean kind of politics. Like, it's not mudslinging. You're not just coming up. Sometimes, at times, especially in developing countries, women are a little bit disadvantaged. It might come up with a lot of some negativity sometimes just because of gender and race. But let me tell you, even developing countries, including Kenya, Rwanda, and a few other countries I know, even Nigeria, I've seen women coming out to fight to be voted in, to pitch yourself, to say what you have. You don't have just to sit down and say you're waiting for nominations, like to be given. No, if politics, it's not about being given, it's about going forth and pitching and saying what you want. And I think the best part is when you're honest and when you're saying the truth, people will listen to you. And people will listen to you not because you're a woman, not because you're black, not because you're white or yellow. It's because what you're going to do, the citizens will find it in their hearts, like it's something good. You're valuable. It's something that they can be able to peg on. You're giving them hope. You're giving them maybe education that they so desire for their children. You're giving them health care so that when they go to the hospital, they are able to be well. Basic livelihoods, you're going to help them improve on their livelihoods and be able to afford, because there's an outcry of many countries now struggling with the livelihoods and life being quite expensive. I know COVID happened. Many countries are struggling to just come out of COVID. The war in Ukraine maybe is also affecting a few places, and so we all know this. But I think anybody who is coming to help people, to give them hope and make them feel that there's hope, and they can be able to afford even a meal or take their children to school, if they're really going to be embraced in these situations. Because I remember even in the UK, some of the things that were coming out clear is the citizens being given a hope of they they can be able to make their life better and be able to have affordable life. So that is one of the things also that because we voted 4th July here in the UK. So when you look at it, many countries now are, because of the, I think, the livelihood being very expensive. It's one of the things that if you bring hope to people, people are really going to listen to you. But also another thing is for leadership. I think politicians should be also be leaders, because there's a difference, because becoming a politician just to talk, just to present people without listening, and also there's a need for politicians to be leaders, because when you're a leader, you desire to make things happen. You're also a listener. You're able to feel people and feel what they want to. So I feel like maybe could have contributed to Joe Biden just saying, "Oh yeah, I think now it's time for me to hand over the baton." But some of the uh, high standing, you find some of our presidents, some of our leadership, they know they are old. They know they cannot be able to even manage themselves. Maybe it's even their juniors who are managing for themselves. You find the high headedness, the chest thumping, all that, feeling like nobody can tell you, becomes quite an issue where someone cannot be able to listen, where someone cannot be able even to listen to what the citizens are saying. These citizens, something that is amazing, citizen will make a president or a king, and still they're the same ones who can bring down a king. And that is what I know, because when you come in with giving them hope, and then one day you wake up and you make them desperate, the same people will sit down and say, hey, wait a minute, what is happening here? So kudos to America, even as they go to the next phase. Personally, and I believe many people in the world will be watching, and it's a space that we are watching, because we are coming into a space where we need to ask ourselves, by the time you're coming to offer your candidature, what are you offering it for? Is it just because you are an indigenous of that country, or because even the countries where we are coming from, let me speak like, for example, in Kenya, you'll find we need to come out and grow out of the tribal cocoons of saying, I'm a Kikuyu, I can only vote for a Kikuyu. I'm a Kamba, I can only vote for a Kamba. I'm a Luya, I can only vote for a Luya. I'm a Luo, I can only vote for a Luo. If that person is a Kenyan and they can be able to bring forth benefits for the whole country, we should be able to vote for them. We should be able to put them to pitch and tell us what they are going to do for us as a country, not as a tribe. Because even this thing of saying you're protecting your person, it doesn't help. Because when they are doing the atrocities, or when they are stealing the monies, or when they are doing things that are immoral, you are not with them. So I think even when it comes to presidency, it's about pitching what you want to do for your people, not because of where you're coming from. I've looked at even a few other countries whereby the tribal ethnicities become so elevated and bring issues. And if I look at my continent, Africa, most of the places, they start from those, maybe the social classes, the have and the have nots, the tribal also, because many of the countries that even have had wars, it starts the triggers. They could be other external forces that also contribute to countries having wars. Yes, even they'll come as a name of ethnicity or a name of social class, but sometimes we have external intruders who come into a country and make it very unstable. But if you look at it generally, there is a general feeling of if people can be able to raise up of the bare minimum, the boundaries of ethnicity and tribe and color and gender, and go to who can be able to perform. Yeah, countries like Rwanda, countries like Congo, Kenya also, we've had some fights, a few other countries, and instabilities. During elections, people panic so much and start remembering how high emotions those times are. But I just enjoy some of these developed countries' politics. It looks interesting, even when it's near politics time. You see people are already discussing. Imagine even you have volunteers just walking door to door, to drop for example, the brochures and pamphlets for their parties. They just talk with you. Remember, in most of these developed countries, you even live with your members of parliament or very high ranked people in the society, in your neighborhood, in the next door. You go to the same shopping center, your kids go to play in the same football field with them. So it ends up being, you can meet with them even on in a social joint, a church or a pub, and be able to discuss with them about what is happening in your community. So it makes it go very well, and you can be able to keep them in tandem and on check, and be able to involve them and be able to look at them and be able to bring them to task, because this is where the challenges happen, when we treat our leaders as if you can't touch them. The politics here seems so nice because they feel the servanthood is what is required. That is why you find, if someone is not performing, they are able to just resign and say they are going. I remember one of the politicians in Kenya was being grilled and everything, and he said he would rather die than resign. And it's true, he did not resign, no matter how hard. By the way, who can comment about their country? How many politicians have ever resigned, especially from Africa? It would be nice to learn, please. This live, we want to hear how many people can say they have seen their president resigning because of not performing in their country in Africa. Please jog our mind, be proud of your country. Tell us, do we have a country in Africa that we have a president who has resigned or called on early elections because they know they are not performing and their party is being defeated? Please, let's hear. How about just even all the other parameters, the state or the county governors, any politician who has resigned? Most of them, they live in gang up and vote of no confidence will be defeated because they know how to gang up against themselves. And even also sometimes as citizens will be coming and saying, oh, don't touch my person. This is my tribe mate. This is my neighbor. This is my person. But I think that is what encourages all this lack of integrity, because someone knows his people will be fighting for them. But I think if we call out things for what they are, I find the office of the uh, politicians, any elected office, it will be attracting less and less people, because many people would be worried of how they perform there generally, before they even vouch for themselves to be voted. But at times you find we have so many, even 10, 20, coming for one position in a county government, or so many presidential aspirants, because after all, maybe we forget to check this is one of the highest offices that determine our fate. So yeah, just looking at the politics and just looking at it from the point of view of the differences, because honestly, it's interesting. And I'm wondering, maybe if I was given an opportunity and be in these developed countries, maybe earlier on and maybe grew here or something, or vice versa in our Africa, if we had politics that are not scaring, that you don't need to give money, actually it's people who are contributing to you. You know what it means to contribute like £100 million, $100 million just for campaigning, such that when you're moving with your vehicle, someone is fueling for you. When you're moving to an area and you want to sleep over maybe that city or that town, it's catered for you, because mostly in Africa, it is the other way around. We are there waiting for handouts as the citizens. Most of the time, we want the politicians to give us money to buy us food for that night. And I think that is why we should come into a generation that we rise up poverty. Because I think poverty makes us not make very critical decisions. Because if a campaigner is already within 24 hours, he's already having like $1 million, and it's coming from people well wishers. It means those people are patriotic, they are hopeful, they want their country to be better. That is why they are there. They want their country to be better, and that's why they are contributing to it. Yeah. And thanks, Elisha. Yeah, I can see you don't think Kamala is going to win. That is super. And that is why I'm saying, to me, it is not whether it's Kamala winning or it's Trump, because even maybe there will be other people coming in. And you see, this is just the endorsement. She's not even gone through I think that as a party, they're going to meet in August to decide whether she's the only one who is going to be given the ticket. That's true. But the goodness of it is even for a lady to be suggested and to be able to come. And what I'm saying is, I like when ladies fight for what belongs to them. I'm in that school of thought. In leadership, if you know you have what it takes, you don't need to sit down and wait to be given. No, showcase, come out, showcase, say what you want. Say you want, this is me. I'm coming from here. I've been able to do this in my area, in my leadership, everywhere that I'm going. And I'm coming out here to ask for your votes. You know, you're asking for your votes because you know you have enough leadership skills and you have enough muscles to be a leader, not because you're a man or not because you're a woman. That is where my heart is when I'm talking about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. They're able, both of them as Americans, to come forth and pitch for what they know, pitch for what they want to do for their country. To me, that's where my interest is. If Trump becomes the best for US, fine, fair enough. If it is Kamala Harris or maybe anybody else that will come, my take is it is good. And I feel good when someone who believes in themselves, no matter the social status, no matter the age, no matter the gender, no matter the skin color, no matter being seen as a minority, okay, let's calm down. Let's come even to organizations. If you know you have good enough, you have good enough skills, your virtues are good, integrity, morals, your thoughts, your heart, your capability is good enough. You can become a CEO of a company, even in a foreign land. You can become the chief, topmost competitive chair and put your name forward and say, I want to be, without even thinking of your age or gender or color. That's what I mean. So to me, remember, I'm not an American voter. So whoever who wins, my interest is made the very best, with very best interest of Americans. And I know these are just the beginnings. When politics start, I know also all the other camps that are going to have their presidential hopeful one also. They're going to come and pitch and say what they have and say what the other person also has done, because also that part in politics, everybody wants to outshine the other one, and will be saying about the other person what they did, what they said. They will be saying about, oh, you remember a certain case, because I saw even the way Kamala Harris came today, she's reminding people of welfare and warfare, you know, where she has passed, what she has done. So I believe also very soon we'll be seeing Trump also coming and telling us what he has, what he's expecting to do for his country, maybe what Kamala Harris has done. Hey, by the way, people, I can't wait to watch the presidential debate for Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I believe it will be very different from the soft-spoken Joe Biden. I believe it will be fireworks. Can you imagine Donald Trump and Kamala Harris on the same platform, sharing, talking about the American people with their passion? Because both of them seem very passionate. So they'll be discussing, they'll be talking, they'll be saying what they want to do, what they don't want to do. So I think we are having very interesting times. For my friends in the US and anybody watching us from the US, we wish you the very best. Yeah, make your choices, but voting is a must. You must vote. I have an adage in my life that I say, if I don't vote, then I should not talk at all when things are going wrong. Even when things are going right, I should not celebrate. Because things go wrong by people who don't make decisions. If you're an age and you're able to vote, you're allowed to vote, and in an age that you can vote in any way, you can make decisions in any way, of any decision that is required, from a company level, from a government level, from even your locality, even those ones who come from the village, from our villages. If you have a say to make things better, be counted, so that when things are going good or bad, you can be able to say, hey, I didn't vote for this person, but this person has surprised me. They are doing very well. Oh, I wish I voted for that person. Anyway, I've learned my lesson, and be able to celebrate, because sometimes we complain and complain and we are not even part of the decision. We are just complaining. The day of the voting, you hear someone say, okay, I can't wake up, like in Africa. Okay, let me talk like Kenya. Sometimes people go to the polling station because there are so many people. You go as early as 6 or 5 a.m. to go and start queuing, and you'll hear people saying, I can't queue. My fellow Kenyans, what do you say? Anyway, you find Kenyans say, I can't, queuing is too long. I'll get so tired. Why should I queue? And then when the prices of food, for example, they're skyrocketing, that person is the same one now to start complaining. Now you complain, you didn't want to vote. You're complaining after voting. Be the one to make a change, even if it won't go your way or not. Anyway, I've always voted. As long as I attained 18 years, yeah, I've always voted wherever I am. Yeah, it's important. I feel you cannot live in ignorance because the same voting people are the same who are affected. By the way, even to the church, yeah, you're a church member, you're a Christian or something. Politics is just governance. Even during David's time, we had politics. They used even to do dice and be able to know who is going to be the next king. What I mean is, it's okay to be politics. Actually, it is us who should be there. So it is okay to know the current news. You might not know in details if that is not your niche. You know, you are not like a politician. I may not know all the details, but also you can't be ignorant. You will be knowing a few things that are happening. So yeah, that's my feeling. I'm just super excited to watch this space because I feel like already it's starting to become very interesting in the US, and I want to wish the very best to everyone in the US and everybody who is interested. My heart goes to them as they cut off. May the very best win. And we're in this space. We will be watching. We will be looking out to see what is happening. And want to bid you all the best from Karaoke Moments till we get to meet again in another live stream. Continue watching our videos in YouTube. And yeah, you are part of our family. We love you and God bless. Thank you.